Aston Martin was always something familiar yet strange for auto enthusiasts, like 5 o'clock tea. Beautiful, sophisticated, expensive, but impractical and pointless at the same time. However, Aston Martin shares now partially belong to Daimler AG. Basically, it's Mercedes-Benz. Let's find out if this German cooperation is a tasty German chocolate bar that goes well with the tea, or Daimler tried to connect unconnectable. For me, Aston Martin DB11 is a pure contradiction. They added all this German tech, but you start to think, do you really need it? Before, design was unique. Arrows in taco were moving vis-a-vis. No one else did that. Now it's all digital, modern and technological, but it looks cheap compared to its predecessor. Whole car is filled with inconsistencies. Branded expensive glass buttons instead of a transmission control lever. At the same time, the interior is overloaded with plastic, inconvenient touch keys. I can't even call them buttons, they're not responding in fact, no tactile feedback at all. In one respect, it has very expensive and unique elements to it. Pedal shifters, they feel very expensive. Armrest that opens with a press of a button. Expensive handbag or dress shoes like this. An old Mercedes multimedia system. How come? It's not only interior. The whole car is saturated with paradoxes. Exterior is the same story. The biggest hood in the automotive industry. Huge, beautiful, and magnificent 5.2 V12. With even gold under the hood. Though, if you examine the wiring, it looks like your drunk neighbor made it. All that's missing is a blue duct tape. Aerodynamics, same story. It's all technological and good on the paper. The excessive air pressure above the wheel will come through a special canal along the car and will end up in the rear canal. In theory, we have a lot of downforce and the body is elegant and nice. It's all different in fact. Firstly, these canals get dirty really quickly. You can literally dig out the dirt with your bare hands like this in the winter. Moreover, despite being a sports Gran Turismo coupe, at 150 kph, it catches wind like a minibus. You don't feel confident at all. You expect stony silence from a double-glass Gran Turismo Aston Martin. But no, wind noise is always present at high speeds, because of the mirrors and front window pillars. Driving impressions are also controversial. Absolutely new 5.2 V12 twin turbo. First time for the Aston Martin. Big capacity saves it from turbo lags. It's good. The gas pedal response is linear-like. You understand how you're going to accelerate, the speed and all that sort of stuff. But at the same time the brake pedal is terrible. When you start braking, it responds quickly, too fast. You can feel the front starting to note. But after that, empty brake pedal travel is so grand that you actually start braking only when your foot is somewhere close to the center of earth. Brakes themselves, it's not carbon ceramic, I don't like them. C-, not more. The steering wheel not only feels nice when you touch it, but it's also well configured for a Gran Turismo. It's sharp. Not much info, but you can predict how car will behave and you can feel the limit up until some point. Once you start going fast, the nose swims away. Suspension is adjusted this way that you'll always understeer. A presumably high center of gravity makes it worse. You can accelerate and neutralize this understeer with throttle in long turns until some point, of course. But when you switch lanes fast, it feels like you're on a racing boat. You move the steering wheel, then get pulled somewhere, and then you stagger. It feels very strange. New DB11 has ZF gearbox. Thank God they changed it. Old Astons had awful gearboxes. ZF works great so far as Gran Turismo class is concerned. You start to cheer, hooray! But no. The gearbox and engine don't do much good together, because connection to the rear wheels is virtually absent. When you press the pedal, car starts to wiggle. And you don't understand what's happening. Burnout, wheel spin, simple rear axle load, no idea. Driving modes are also contradictory. It's too rapid and rigid in comfort mode, almost not suitable for calm transportation, while Sport Plus lacks sport traits. It has Bang Olufsen sound system, nice speakers appearing out of the panel, they don't blow you away though. And finally, exhaust. Astons were always known for their beautiful, reverberating, atmospheric roar. Nowadays, the sound is there. It has some bass, reverberating, same with 12. But the turbos and echo standards, they kinda strangled it. It sounds like this. Don't hope you can make it go sideways and drift. Firstly, even if you put the traction in sport mode, it's even called track mode. It won't do any good. Once you start losing grip, traction takes over. And you end up straight and considerably slower. No drift for you. Even if you turn it off completely, the car gets unpredictable. On the whole, you just don't want to do it because it's Aston Martin, James Bond car. It wasn't made for this. In long turns, car lurches from side to side, as I already said. Car is shaky, always understeers. If you push DB11 to the limit, there is not much pleasure. You can see I don't even smile a lot. And this car costs $300,000? By the way, as for the price, let's get back to the interior. The price is big, and you get a lots of leather inside. High quality. Lines are excellent. And next moment, a set of what materials? So-called pressurized carbon that looks more like a plastic marble or like a parody to the letter. Either plastic or metal. Glass here. Don't know what's there, I can't even tell. Everything gets mixed up in the head. You don't know if you admire the car or if it makes you sick. The riddle gets more complicated once you think of its rivals. There are none basically for DB11. Style-wise, it can be compared to a Jaguar XK, which is not produced anymore, or BMW 6 or 8 series, but guys, it costs much more than BMW M8. The price is almost the same as for S63 Coupe or Bentley Continental GT, but it's clear that the comparison like that is dragged in by the head and shoulders. DB11 kinda places emphasis on steering and sportiness, as Coupe and Conti are about comfort. As there are no alternatives, cause Conti GT haven't yet arrived in Moscow, here is a facelifted S63 Coupe roll-on start. S Coupe vs DB11, 608 horsepower against 612 horsepower. Aston is AVD and transaxle, the gearbox is in the rear, Mercedes is all-wheel drive, diagonally opening doors against Swarovski crystals. The most beautiful but dumb girl from the school against the fat straight A classmate. Roll on from 80 kph. No wheel spin, 150, half a car length difference, 200, head to head, Mercedes doesn't progress much, 230. I'm swimming, the car is like a boat, no connection to the road. 1 car length difference, up to 250 kph. He got away a little after 200 kph. This is how I drove this Aston for 2 days, with an unhappy face, not understanding it completely. It's not really fast, it doesn't steer well, not many impressions from driving. And it's not really comfortable. What do you need this car for? And then I thought to myself, why am I torturing this car? It's a James Bond car after all. No need to run it to full 100-110%. Maybe I should relax a little? And you know what? It was the right decision. When you don't torture it and just cruise, the feelings are completely different. The tilt problem and the fact that car likes to understeer, it becomes an advantage when you drive this car in a GT style. Just a little fast. As I said before, the steering wheel is adjusted nicely, and the fact that the car is soft enriches the turning experience. Car kinda squats a little on an outer axle, and it feels wonderful. Wheat valve, rumbling in the front, beautiful scenery around, you start really enjoying the car. Yeah, maybe S-Coupe is more universal and comfortable. Maybe new Bentley is much more technological, but the case here is different. In a year or two, every second Beverly Hills wife will possess a Bentley Continental GT. S-Coupe, hundreds, if not thousands of them on the road. Astons are unique. And finally, main ace here is the look of the car. At first, I was skeptical, but the more you look at it, the more you understand just how much love and effort was put into it. Every line is a work of art. If you compare the auto world to an aquarium, DB11 is like a stingray. There are small, fast fishes, there are huge and clumsy fishes over there. But when you see a manta ray, you stop noticing everything else. Same with Aston Martin. When it appears on the road, all other cars fade away. You can't stop thinking about how cool this car looks on the road and how rich and expensive you look inside. This car pulls you in with time. If you ride it in Gran Turismo style, you like it more and more and more. The more you look at it, the more details you notice. It's getting hard to look aside. I'm afraid if I spend a couple more days with it, I'll fall in love with it irrevocably. I'll be willing to forgive every drawback of this car, and there are lots of them. That's why it's time to wrap this up. It was Dragtimes Test Drive. Subscribe, like and share. My name is Artemiy M. Don't forget to press the bell button. And it looks like I forgot to fill up, so I have to go to my date by foot because I'm an idiot. Bye bye.